Please introduce yourself, and we're going to start right here and go all the way down. And please introduce yourself and tell us what makes you a great candidate for mayor. What makes you a great candidate for mayor?
My name is Glenn Wrightson. Attended Spring Street Elementary School, Henry Grady High School. I know Atlanta. What would make me a great mayor is the fact that I would take to the mayor's office the citizen's perspective. And I believe that while we've had a history of political persons in city government, it would be beneficial to have a person in city government that has the citizen's perspective. And I'm from Atlanta. I remember when the Regency was the tallest, Regency Hyatt House was the tallest building in Atlanta, and Phipps Plaza was a cow pasture. So I've got deep roots here. I've been here a long time, and I've seen the transition, and I know the city, and I think I would be a good mayor and represent the citizens.
The time on this is 1.5 minutes. I'm sorry, I should have told you that at first, but it's 1.5 minutes.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm going to stand up because I didn't get my requested phone book for the seat. Welcome to my family's home church. I spent quite a bit of time here when I lived in Atlanta as a kid and stopping my brother from flying airplanes off that balcony. It's my predominant memory. I think I'm the best qualified candidate for this because I've spent time inside city government and spent a lot of time outside of city government. I've had the opportunity to make big projects like the Atlanta Beltline happen, like the only comprehensive civil rights bill in the state of Georgia, and other things that I'll talk about as we go on. I'm in this race now because I'm fighting for ATL, affordability, transportation, and livability. Because as you said, Jocelyn, right now we're struggling with a lot of things about how this city is going to grow as we go on into the future. I've had, in addition to holding office, I have worked at the international, the national, state, and local level, passing policy, being an advocate for people who are underserved, and I think I've got that experience in social justice as well as infrastructure to development that is very, very unique and makes me qualified to be the next mayor at this point in our time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michael Sterling, and I'm proud to be a candidate for mayor of Atlanta and proud to be here tonight with the League of Women Voters and each and every one of you. I think what makes me a good candidate for mayor is I believe this is a time for our city to find our hope again. I think that's what our politics are supposed to be about. Atlanta faces a number of unprecedented challenges. Income inequality that is among the worst in the country. Economic mobility rate, 4.5%. Individuals born in our city in poverty have a 4.5% chance of climbing out of poverty. We face lagging educational system that sees disproportionately kids all over our city not getting the proper education they need to achieve their full potential. We see traffic and gridlock in every corner of our city. And our politics are supposed to make us hopeful about solving the challenges and problems that we face today. And I believe that I am that candidate that can help us solve those challenges and those problems. As a former federal prosecutor, as one of the youngest former federal prosecutors in the country, I fought against crime and I fought against child exploitation and public corruption. I led efforts to make sure that we kept people safe in every aspect that I could in my life. As the former executive director of the Workforce Development Agency, I took the city's most dysfunctional organization and I completely turned it around, helping hundreds and thousands of people in our city find jobs and find opportunities, expanding services and making sure people felt included in the promise of Atlanta. I believe we can find our hope again with Michael Sterling. It's time for new leadership and a new direction for Atlanta. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Good evening. I'm Caesar Mitchell, and I want to serve as your next mayor. It's all about building blocks. It's about the building blocks that create a strong foundation to lead this city. Building blocks of love. Building blocks of understanding and knowing this city from top to bottom. Building blocks of having a true understanding of what it means to get things done. And also a building block of a track record to build upon and use. I was born and raised right here in this city. And I was born to parents who loved me and invested a tremendous amount in my success. As mayor, I want to make sure that every young person in this city and every senior citizen and everyone in between has the opportunity to experience the promise of this city. What makes me qualified to be mayor of this city is that I'm going to bring leadership that doesn't leave people behind. I'm going to bring the kind of leadership that can point beyond City Hall and point into the private sector and point into the civic community where I've had real, authentic experiences around providing leadership to make sure that we move this city together, not alone. I'm going to bring entrepreneurial leadership. When I see a problem and I see something, I do something. I just don't say something. We're in a moment in time in this city where we've got to dig in. And we're in a moment in time where while this city is moving forward, we cannot leave people behind. And it takes leadership that doesn't have blind spots. It takes leadership that's willing to work with others. It takes leadership that knows how to get the job done. And as your next mayor, I'm going to know how to get the job done, and I'm going to get the job done working with you. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Laban King, and I am so honored to be here. Thank you for the invite. All other organizations are not inviting all candidates, so it's an honor to be here. So I know you guys are wondering, like, well, why does he not have a suit on? Well, here's the thing. I didn't feel like putting on one today. And the reason why is because at the end of the day, if I wanted to rob a bank, I would wear a ski mask. But if I wanted to rob the community, I would wear a suit and tie. And the fact of the matter is, the communities have been robbed in this city. You know, a lot of people are talking about, well, what is your experience? Well, let's tell you what experience has done for Atlanta. Experience has got us #1 when it comes to sex trafficking. Experience has got us 4% chance to get out of poverty if you're born into poverty. Experience has got us #6 when it comes to new HIV cases. Experience has got us 8th in the world with congestion. So experience has failed us at this point. And some of the experience is sitting next to me on this stage. So with that being said, keep an open mind. Okay.
The candidates.
Okay, I didn't mention any names, but okay.
It doesn't matter.
okay.
If you're alluding to that, it's really not fair.
Okay, cool. Well, experience has failed us. And so with that being said, I come here with a different voice, a different perspective, and I hope that I encourage you to look at my candidacy as your next mayor.
Good?
I think, is it good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, and thank you for having me. Sorry about that. In 1999, I became a father, a husband, and a homeowner in 1 week to my lovely wife, Natalie. And I have to say, in the last 16 or 17 years that we've lived in that part of town, and I've served on school board and city council, I've been able to do all kinds of things, big and small, to make our city, at least the heart of the city, a great place to live in. And imagine what we can do when you think about neighborhoods like Emmons Park, Old Fourth Ward, Ponce Highlands, Candler Park, at one point Atlantic Station, Castleberry Hill, all areas that have turned around and have become truly dynamic parts of our town in a way that they have not completely displaced people, and we've been able to build the heart of the city to be something that's outstanding. I've always said Atlanta's been great at building buildings, but not so good at loving people and building people. And on the Boulevard Corridor, in the area where we have the greatest concentration of poverty in the Southeast United States, we've been able to empower families and children to own their own future. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Atlanta doesn't need a white mayor, a black mayor, a gay mayor, or a straight mayor. Atlanta needs a great mayor, a mayor who will put people and neighborhoods first. I'm Kwanzaa Hall, and I'll be everybody's mayor. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Vincent Ford. I'm running for mayor. And the reason that I'm running for mayor is I believe City Hall has lost its way. At a time when income inequality and income immobility is not one of the highest, it is the highest in this country. At a time when gentrification is exploding. 10 years ago, Atlanta was 10 to 20% gentrified. Today, 10 years later, it is 60 to 70% gentrified. If we stay on this rate, Atlanta will be gentrified to the rate of 80 or 90%. City Hall has been more concerned with the 1% than the 99%.
We want to know what makes you a great mayor, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I can't talk about City Hall?
No.
Okay, all right. What will make me a great mayor is that I, as opposed to those who have allowed income inequality to increase. I have fought at the state capitol to stop income inequality, to stabilize neighborhoods, to make sure that neighborhoods that are being preyed upon by predatory lenders are not decimated. I have worked against gentrification, and that's why I'll be a great mayor. When other people were sleeping, I was fighting for neighborhoods in the city of Atlanta. Thank you.
Hello, I'm John Eves, and I'm running for mayor because leadership matters. For the past 10 years, you've given me the honor and the pleasure of serving as the chairman of the largest local government in the state of Georgia. I represent 1 million residents. I work with 15 different cities, the mayors of each city, and I've overseen a $1 billion budget. I've also collaborated in a very mighty way with DeKalb County in terms of doing some great things, not only for Fulton and DeKalb County, but also for the region. We saved Grady Hospital. We put forth the most massive criminal justice reform in the history of Fulton County. We brought economic development. We delivered the first ever transportation SPLOST last November, which will generate $655 million over the next 5 years. We did all of that, friends, corruption-free. I'm running for mayor because City Hall needs to be overhauled. I believe that this election is about integrity. I believe that this election is about doing the right thing. I'm very, very proud under my watch as chairman of Fulton County. We had zero corruption in our government. And last July, we received an award from the National Association of Counties for being the top county in the country for transparency, accountability, and integrity. So friends, I'm running, and I believe I'm unique because of demonstrated leadership and leadership with integrity. Thank you.
Now, Jocelyn, he mentioned City Hall, but I can't.
I didn't say City Hall.
If he had mentioned it again, I would have said something.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Keisha Lance Bottoms, and I will be a great mayor because Atlanta is a tale of two cities, and I am the only candidate who has lived and worked in both those places. I know what it is like to live in this city with a single mother who is struggling to make ends meet, who's working 2 jobs and going back to school to provide for her children. I know what it's like to go from ballet lessons to visiting a father in prison. But I also know what is possible when children in this city are surrounded by a beloved community that makes decisions and makes it possible for that little girl to grow up to be a judge, to be a lawyer, to serve on city council, to sell a stadium to help transform a community and to help transform a city. The most important job I will ever have is being mother to my 4 children. And it is with them in mind that I make decisions for this city because I want this city to be the beloved community that it was for me, and it cannot be that for my children if it is not that for each of your families and communities as well. I hope to earn your support.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Rohit Amnamanchi and I'm a transportation engineer from Georgia Tech, and I'd like to be the next mayor of Atlanta. I'm running for mayor because we're so far behind on taking care of the basic responsibilities that we need to maintain our city. Our traffic is one of the worst, and our housing situation, we're at a crisis level of shortage of affordable housing, and we have one of the worst income inequality, the worst income inequality in the US. And as the civil rights capital of the world, we shouldn't be facing those issues. I think I'd be a great mayor because I would have the fresh, bold new ideas to get our city going in the other direction that is right now. As we're heading towards a rate of gentrification, we are about to experience unprecedented growth, and I believe that I can guide the growth without gentrification. Gentrification is a bad thing, but development is not. Rehabilitation is not a bad thing. And a lot of our neighborhoods are suffering from the neglect that our city has not given these neighborhoods attention for decades. A whole half of our city has not had any care or maintenance for over 40 years, and that is an absolute injustice. I'm running for mayor to fix that. I'm running for mayor to fix all the neighborhoods in our great city. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Peter Amon. I'm going to mention three things: experience, ethics, and leadership. For the moment, I'll just talk a little bit about experience. I had the experience of growing up with a mom and a dad who were deeply involved in the civic life of our town. In fact, my mom was a deep participant in the League of Women Voters, and I grew up hearing about stories about the League of Women Voters often. In addition to that, I studied public policy at Duke along with history. I went on to get an MBA at Wharton. I worked in the private sector for 25 years, helping some of the world's most complex organizations improve their customer service, improve their operations. I then, in 2001, helped Mayor Franklin and the City of Atlanta with a whole series of pro bono consulting projects where we came in and we helped the city turn around from 2001 on. In 2010 and 11, I was the Chief Operating Officer of the City of Atlanta. As Chief Operating Officer, I had daily responsibility for all of the operating departments in the city, which means the vast majority of the city's 8,000 employees worked for me. And so I oversaw the police department, the fire department, the airport, and so forth. So I have managed the city on a day-to-day basis. I have a sense of what it means to work together, both in the city and as a region. Thank you.